Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to my IG live. I'm just waiting for Jamila to join us. And our topic today is why women are afraid. Why women find it icky selling.
Why women
Yes.
are afraid. Why women
Hope you're having a
find
good
it
week,
icky
guys.
selling.
Just waiting for Jamila. Assalamu alaikum, sis.
Walaikum salam.
How are you, darling?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, so many joining us.
Mashallah, I know how's everyone's week going. Alhamdulillah, I'm so glad to see you guys here. So we're talking today about why women find it icky selling. So if you're a coach or a therapist or you have a business and you're a female entrepreneur and you find it difficult to give your prices or you keep giving discounts or you keep giving your sessions for free, this live is for you. So we're gonna dive in deep behind the psychology of selling, basically. So Jamila, let's start it off. Like, why do you feel like women find it difficult to sell?
I think the biggest fear is that women find it hard to accept money, to receive money for their services, because of so much childhood trauma, especially in generations where your parents might have been immigrants or your parents didn't have enough money. You learned to adapt to your circumstances. So you learned to adapt to not having enough and to only ask for what you wanted when it was absolutely needed. So as women grow up, then they find it really hard to receive or buy themselves, gifts or receive money through their services, and subconsciously they push it away because it doesn't feel normal to them. It doesn't feel right to them.
Right, exactly. And I like the fact that you linked it back to childhood because I remember having a client actually, and it's quite interesting. She actually linked having money to being a prostitute. I know how deep this is, very deep, right?
Wow.
So she wasn't able to receive money for her work because obviously as a child she had gone through some severe sexual abuse. So when she was trying to get money in her business, she equated that to her prostituting herself. And it was so like when she had that moment, that epiphany, she was like, oh my god, now it all makes sense. When she was a child, she would get money after she was abused, and that blueprint that she created within herself, the belief that, I'm not worthy of money, and money's icky, and it's sleazy to sell, and it's sleazy to receive money because of that blueprint she had. So it's very important to get rid of those money blueprints that we all have from childhood. And just like about immigrants, like poverty, if you were raised in poverty and you have the poverty mindset, it really, really affects the way you sell, and it affects the way you show up in your energy.
Yep. And even if women consciously feel like, this was my childhood, I never want my children to have that, I never want to feel that when I grow up, but they're not realizing that those patterns are still deep within them and they're operating from within those patterns. So even if they think, I want to have a better life than when I was younger, I want to give myself better things, I want to provide for my family in a better way, they're really yearning for these things and they really want these things, but they're not seeing that there's these blocks that are actually stopping them from actually having those things.
Right, exactly. I know, like it's true. Like we create that conflict. So your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, guys. Remember, the subconscious mind is running like an app. It's 24/7. It's looking for all the viruses, looking for all the glitches, and your conscious mind is only running 5% of the time. So it's only running like throughout the whole day just to keep you going. But your subconscious mind is all the blueprints that you have, the beliefs that you have, the emotions that you have around certain things. So when you say you want something, right, your subconscious mind will say no, because this happened, that happened, this happened. You haven't changed what's going on in your subconscious mind. It's like, the best way I can describe it is like a tree. So when you plant that seed and it grows into something, usually when you have like the seed of poverty in your subconscious mind, you're growing fruits that resemble poverty. So as soon as the perfect example is, let's say you want to invest in something that will help your business grow, the first thing you say to yourself, I can't afford it, right? Because you have that belief in your mind, you have the poverty tree in your mind telling you, no, you can't afford it, because do you remember when you did it last time, or do you remember when your mom told you when you were a kid that you can't have this? So these are all the beliefs that we have, that we have to get rid of them, right? And we have to start being conscious. I think being intentional with your thoughts around money is the first step to take for you to like grow in your business.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to go deeper than what you actually are thinking about money, because a lot of the time people are actually scared of having that money and
Yeah.
actually receiving that money. Because say, for example, you've always been at a certain income bracket and you're paying no tax or only a little amount of tax, when you actually end up earning more, you'd be paying more. And people actually fear that, oh my God, I'm going to be actually losing money. So they think in their mind that rather than gaining money, I'm going to be losing money. And some people, it actually goes deeper and they think that, okay, then if I don't do it properly, what if the money gets taken away from me? What if I end up in prison? And we don't realize that if you went deeper, that is something that you're actually afraid of.
That is so deep, and I'm so glad you mentioned tax, because so many of us, when we think about making more money in our business, the first thing we think is that I'm gonna have to pay more tax, or I'm
Mm,
gonna have to. But I want you to shift the language. I want you to say to yourself, I get to pay tax. Paying tax
yeah.
is proof that I have a profitable business, right?
Mm,
Like, so it's that all this get, and you know where we got the issue around tax from childhood, because we weren't taught it. And if we were
yeah.
taught it, your parents are always talking about in a bad way, all these politicians are trying to take our money, they're making the rich richer, the poor poorer.
Mm,
Have these beliefs, all these beliefs conjured, they affect your business. And guys, I wanna like show you how it affects your business. When you remember, people don't listen to your words, they listen to your energy. Okay, so if you have these beliefs in the back of your mind, if you have this ickiness around money, this ickiness around selling, your ideal audience, your ideal clients, they are going to hear that way before you ever tell them anything, because your energy speaks volumes. And this is why it's
mm,
so important to get rid of those blocks, to get to the root cause of it. Like, what is causing me to feel this way around money? And you know, if you have a money issue, when you have that gut wrenching feeling in the pit of your stomach, where someone asks you, so how much is it to work with you? And you're like, oh my
mm.
God, like, you know, the first thing you think is, oh my God, and you panic and you freeze, and then your gut, you have this feeling in the pit of your stomach, and then you think, okay, let me just discount it, let me give her a free session, let me give her something as a bonus. Like, does that make sense? That shows up in your energy, and when you do that, you actually repel your ideal clients, you repel money.
Yeah, because if you don't fully believe in your services, how can they really believe in you? And when
Right.
when you're trying to onboard a client on yourself, you're actually selling yourself to them, you're selling your services to them, and you're helping them sell themselves to themselves. For them to
Mm,
believe that, yeah, if you take my program and if you believe in yourself, you can get the results that I'm saying. And if any one of those three are missing, you're actually, yeah, repelling them, and you won't be able to attract them in a way that's empowering for them and exciting for them, and something that you know that this is a right ideal client for me.
I like the fact that you said that, guys. You know what it is, but selling is it has less to do with you and more to do with your client saying yes to what they want. That's all it is. Selling is just a commitment. It's got nothing to do with the money. You
Mm,
could be charging someone £99 and still feel icky, right? Because the issue is this: you have to get the person to understand, get them to say yes to their own dreams. So if this person comes to you and says, you know what, I have this dream to build a business, or I have this dream to just like get rid of this anxiety that I have, right? That's their dream. They're coming to you because you're the one who's the fixer. You're the one who's going to provide them the solution. But they have to say yes to solving that problem first. And the way that they say yes to solving that problem is by accepting the price that you give them, and then you selling them, because the transformation happens in the transaction. And the higher the
mm,
investment, the more likely that person is to be committed to, saying yes to their dreams and staying committed to doing the work. Because, I don't know if you've ever had this, Jamila, if you had someone like, back in the day, maybe you were doing 3 sessions, and then that the person just doesn't do the work, and how
yeah.
frustrating is it, right?
Yeah, and I think for a lot of women, they then start believing that I'm not good enough, my services aren't good enough because that I'm not getting results. But what you're not seeing is that because of your mentality around money and your money mindset, you're attracting freebie seekers. You're attracting people that just want a quick win, not much effort, low effort, not really in it for the long run kind of people. And that is not your real dream client. You have to ask yourself, my real dream client is so in it, to make her transformation happen. She's invested in it. She's not, beating around the bush around it. She's not like one step in, one step out. She knows that this is the help I need, and I'm ready to make a good amount of investment for it. And I'm ready to put the work in, and I'm ready for someone to hold me accountable, to hold my hand through this and believe in me, and as I believe in myself, to make it happen. And if you're putting your services so low, or you're offering them for free, you won't attract to that kind of person. And like, you can even ask yourselves, like, when you sometimes download freebies or you watch stuff on YouTube, or just maybe even some things that you read in a book, how much do you actually really implement and make happen with consistency? And it's probably not a lot. Whereas if you work with a coach and you know you've invested a large amount of money for it, you know it's a big, huge need for yourself to make, you know, whatever the transformation is that you want to happen, you are going to make a difference. You are going to make it work for you. No matter what, you're going to make it work for you.
That's so true. And so guys, I don't know how many freebies I have. I have a ton that I've not gone through ever in my life. You just don't value free. No one values free. Like, look at a child. You know, this, I always say to my son, like, he's always breaking his toys, because in his mind it's free, right? Like, some kids just have that natural thing, conception that when they're given something, the first thing they'll do is break it, yeah. Because even from a young age, you don't value free. You value I remember I value the things that I really like worked hard for. If I did my chores, if I was good the whole week, if I did something to get the reward for it, that's what I valued, and I looked after it. I think, you know what, I put my hard work into this. But if you're giving things for free because you feel, and you know what it is, guys, what it really is for women, you have the fear of rejection, which is all inherent in all of us, but in mostly women, is more in us. Because as a child, we got like, as a child, as a woman, we are emotional creatures. We think emotionally. So rejection to us feels like heartbreak. It feels like, oh my God, like, this is the worst thing that can ever happen to me. And when someone rejects you or says no to your prices, the first thing you say, just like Jamila was saying, is that I'm not good enough, right? So really, the real fear around selling is a fear of rejection. That, oh my God, someone's going to say that I'm too expensive, and then they're going to go and badmouth me to everyone else, and they're going to invest in my program, it's not going to get them the results, and all these things go on in our minds. But you have to realize that when you start, and I like to use this analogy, when you start auditioning clients. Now remember, guys, you know Simon Cowell, when he's on X Factor, judge, right? And the people are auditioning to go into the X Factor. This is the way that you have to deal with your clients, your prospects, the people who come to you asking for help. You are not trying to audition to them. They are auditioning to you to see, and you're seeing if they're a good fit for your program. That's integrity. So if a person comes to you and you know they're not a good fit for your program, you know that they're not going to get the results, because you're the judge and you're not auditioning, you're not panicking for the money, you're not trying to, you're not trying to be desperate for the money. You're saying, you know what, I'm judging you as to whether you're a good fit for me, and that's it. That's how you overcome this whole fear of rejection, and you put yourself in a place of power, and you think, you know what, this is not about me, this is about them.
Yeah, and at every point you need to position yourself as the leader. Whether it's a yes on the call or whether it's a no, you are still the leader in that call. You are still the person that's holding their hand, helping them make whatever decision is best for them. And I can't tell you how many people I've worked with, or, you know, some of my own business besties, that they've said that the people that they heard from, when they said that, you know what, I was just so glad that you just talked to me through making my decision, whatever it was. You didn't put any judgment on me, you didn't pressure me. And within a week, they just go back to working with them. Just because they felt safe, they didn't feel like they were, you know, forced to make a decision. They didn't feel like, you know, they were persuaded. They were just feel really empowered because the other person was showing up as an authentic leader. And you have to be able to do that. If you know that there's parts of you that are not believing in your service, or actually fearing that rejection, you won't be able to ground yourself and hold yourself as a leader in that conversation. And the other person will tell, you know, they can tell. And if you can't hold yourself as a leader in that half an hour sales call or however long it goes on for, how are they going to be able to believe that you can help them for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks on a one-to-one intimate basis or a group program? And that's, you know, that is basically how they will judge, you know, your ability to help them.
Oh my God, I love that. Safe space, guys. You know what it is? The key to any transformation in a person is for them to feel safe to work with you. And that is so true. And just like I said about energy, people can tell when you're trying to sell to them, right? People can just feel that, in that ickiness, because you're feeling icky inside, you're transferring that energy onto them, right? So when you, just like Jamila was saying, when you stand as a leader, because at the end of the day, like my coach said to me, imagine if you have £1 million in your account right now. how would you show up as a person, as a coach? Would you be fighting for the sale? Would you be trying to convince people to buy from you? Or would you be thinking, you know what, if it happens, it happens. If the person wants to change their life, they will
Mm.
invest, right? And you'll be coming from a more softer energy, a more softer approach. And you know what? I see what you're going through. I understand your pain. I know your desired situation. This is how we can do it, right? And you leave them to make the decision. And usually, what happens, you know, what happens when we make if you ever given your prices to someone, have you ever done this? You're giving your prices, and then you start talking, and you keep talking, and you keep talking, and you keep
Yeah.
talking. What happens is when you're doing the talking, you're making the person not buy. You're making them think there's something wrong with your service because you're trying to convince me even more that your service is worth this. And this all goes back to the rejection. As soon as you give your prices, if you have those negative money beliefs that money is bad, there's not enough money, that's what happens when it comes to that point when you give your prices. The first thing you do is think, oh my God, they're going to reject it. They're going to say
Yeah.
no. And that's why you start talking, and then you buy you buy the person out of the sale. They're like, nah, I don't want to work with you. And you're like, oh no. And then you start feeling terrible inside. You tell yourself, this is not working, I need to quit this job, I need to go get a 9 to 5. It's because you have these money beliefs, these negative money beliefs,
Mm.
and you have this belief around selling, that selling is icky, and you have to serve people and give it for free.
Yeah, and I definitely think that a lot of people create a huge meaning around rejection, and then they carry that meaning onto the next sales call or even the next business activity that they do. And that only lets them go more downhill rather than thinking, okay, what did I learn from this sales call? Maybe I was talking so fast. Maybe I wasn't a bit nervous. And improving for the next one. And not just that, but for every no that you get in a sales call, there are 1,000 yeses out there. There are 1,000 people that are ready to pay you for your services, desperately wanting it.
Right.
And I think people really need to tap into believing that.
And you know what? I'm so glad you mentioned that. You guys, how many times have I said no to a person? So I've actually turned down people to work with me. I don't work with everyone. I only work with a few people per month. So I've actually said no to so many people. And the more times that I say no, the more people, the more quality clients I get. Like, my clients are amazing. I love all of them. They're my dream clients. They do the work. Whenever it's time to do something, they do it. So because I've gotten out of this rut of, fighting for the money and thinking the money is not there, and believing that, oh, selling is icky and sleazy, and I've moved towards, you know what, this is about them, not about me. I solve a problem. My business is here to solve their problem. Just by making that shift, I have attracted better clients, been able to raise my prices. I've been able to keep consistent as well. So it's very important, guys, for you to shift in your energy as well. It's very important for you guys to shift into the energy of leadership. Kind of day, what does a leader do? A leader helps people make decisions, and he helps make them from an integral way, from integrity, from honesty, not from sleaziness, not from ickiness, not from unavailability or scarcity.
Yeah. And they don't project their own money beliefs onto them either. Like, they would let them make whatever empowered decision is best for them, and not, take it personally if their decision is that it's not the right time for me right now, or I need to think about it a lot more, or whatever it is that they're going through. They won't let that affect them.
Yeah, that's so deep. Yeah, it's not about perfection, guys. It's all about mirroring. You just have to accept people for where they're at, and you have to understand that no does not mean like completely no. It just means not yet. The person's not ready to buy now. They may come back to you a few months later and say, you know what, I really need you. Let's work together. And that's what usually happens when people say no. They'll come back to you later on and say, you know what, I really want to work with you. So guys, feel free to ask questions in the comments about selling. So yeah, let's give them some tips. What are the tips that you want to give to the female?
Okay, so there's some tips for if you're anxious around selling. If it's the price that really puts you off selling. So this is what our coach also always kind of you need to normalize your price. It has got to be something so normal for you. Like, this is a glass of water, my program costs £1,700. This is a bar of chocolate, my program costs £1,700. The sun's out today, my program costs £1,700. It's just so normal, natural. That number has to become so normal for you. When you say it, it just rolls out your tongue. There's no like heart palpitations happening, or running out of breath, or like closing your eyes thinking, hope they say yes. It's just so natural for you. like practice it until it becomes so aligned for you, so easy for you. So that when you're in that phone call, you're actually saying it, nothing changes in your energy. You're still grounded. You're still calm. You're still in that leadership energy. And that's one of my biggest tips. Another one is that you need to really, really, truly, from a heart place, believe in the transformation of your program. If you don't believe like 100% that my program can seriously change lives, people will sense that. And any part of them that senses that, I think it's only going to help me a little bit, it's not really going to change my life, or I don't know if it's really going to work, that pushes them away. And if you don't believe that your program can really change lives right now, make a list that why is your program so amazing, and look at that list every single day. Look at it until it becomes so normal for you that you believe it so much. Every single day, look at that list.
I love that. I love that. I love the bit that you said about normalizing it, because I think that's what it is. Like, it's such a big number in your head that you are thinking that it's not possible, but it's totally possible. Another thing I would advise is understanding that money wants you. So that money wants you, so stop playing hard to get, basically. And there's an affirmation that I put on my Instagram, that money wants you and money needs you, and without you, like without you using your head and you using your hands, money is not valuable. So just understand that money wants you. It's not the other way around. You don't want money, money wants you, and it's more drawn towards you. You attract more money the more transformations you get for your clients, the more you are integral to yourself, the more honest you are with yourself, the more aligned you are with yourself, the more you normalize your prices. Just like Jamila said, money will come to you because it feels in your energy, it feels neutral. Money has to feel neutral to you. It can't change you. It can't make you feel a certain way. Yes, money buys freedom and it buys you options, but it should be so neutral to you that you think, if I have it, I have it. If I don't, I don't. That's it. That's how neutral it has to be for you.
It reminds me of a post that I made a couple of weeks ago about an affirmation that I love using is, money is my sexy love interest. And don't want people to take it the wrong way, but if you look at money like that it finds you sexy, it wants to chase you, you change your whole energy around money. You wouldn't be, chasing it, constantly needing it, grabbing it, not wanting to let go of it, kind of thing. You just be there, calm, knowing it's coming to you, knowing that it loves to come to you.
Right, exactly. And because we have all these money beliefs and think, oh my God, money's not available. Money just like, it's so hard to, this is the biggest belief we have. It's hard to, like, when we believe one kind of things, we actually repel it. So making your mind, like, write the affirmation out. One thing I do is I write the affirmation out 33 times for 5 days. So if once I increase my prices, or I have a different service, or I have a different program, I write it out 33 times to make it normal for me, to help me get into the energy of it, that this is absolutely normal. So I would say to you guys, remember the belief of money, that money wants you. You don't want it. Then that releases that conflict that you constantly have between trying to sell your services, trying to give your prices out, trying to increase your prices. Just know that the more I feel aligned with myself, the more I make money neutral, the more money I'll make. That's my biggest thing. So guys, let us know if you have any insights, any questions about selling. Or another thing I wanted to add as well, don't be afraid to tell people how you get them transformations. Now, I know, like, when I was studying marketing and stuff, I was told, like, don't tell people the how, keep it a secret. But now, as we're going through COVID and we're going through a recession, people want trust. They're tired of, like, being sold to. They want to build a relationship. They want trust. They want to see how they fit in your program way before they get on a call with you. So one thing I was taught was actually tell people the how, not exactly how you do, but give them the methodology, the framework that you use to get them the result. And this is less likely, you're less likely to have objections on the sales call when you speak to a person. Once you give them the how, like, listen, we're going to work on A, B, and C to get you to your desired solution. And once I did that, it released all that icky feeling around selling. It released all that daunting feeling that, oh my God, if I don't sell this person this program, then I fail. So when you give people the how, people appreciate it. They're like, oh wow, it makes sense. Yes, I would love to book with you. I would love to work with you. And then them handing over your cash is not a big deal.
Yeah, definitely. And it doesn't even have to be like so detailed. You're just giving them the main way.
Yes.
That is for me. It's my 3 R method: recognize, release, rewire. and they understand, as I explained it, they understand, and they can see, okay, yeah, this will still work for me.
Yes, exactly. The person, people work in images and with words. So you have to put the image in their mind of how it's going to help them, and you have to use the right words to help trigger those images to be more powerful for them. And they're thinking, wow, this makes so much sense. This makes more sense than what I was reading the other day on a different person's post. You have to get them, you have to help them connect the dots, and you do that by giving them the how. Someone asked, Sakia asked, how important are testimonials? I would say very important. But if you are a newbie coach, your story is important of how you overcame something and how you can help other people overcome it, because it's all about social proof. That's all it is. It's not just about the testimonials. It's about how your methodology helps other people get transformations. And usually the person who got the most transformation is you. You are your own walking testimonial. So don't be afraid to like talk about your story and be more open about it, about how you got from A to B. How would you answer that, Jamila?
I would say it's incredibly important, because for a lot of people out there, the question they ask, even the ones that do read your story, is, can I really believe her? And when you have testimonials, it gives them that trust, that belief factor that they need, that, okay, now, okay, I can see this working for me now. If it's worked for her, it can work for me.
Right, exactly. That's what you want people to think. You want people to think, wow. And because usually what happens is when you share a testimonial of how a client came to you, had a breakthrough, and their transformation, usually you can see yourself in that story, and you're like, wow, it works. But I need to hop on this bandwagon and message this coach and get some help because I'm in a similar situation. That's what usually happens with testimonials. So don't, and I find that people are afraid to share their testimonials because they feel like they're bragging. It's not bragging, guys. When you help someone and you can help someone else, that's not bragging. That's you trying to get more people to speak out about their problems and get to message you so that you can also help them with their problems.
I think they're asking, what if it is embarrassing? First of all, the word embarrassing that you're using is your own story that you created about it, that you're seeing it in an embarrassing way. And if you're seeing it in an embarrassing way, some of your followers might see it in an embarrassing way, albeit some of them won't. They will resonate with it so much. They will feel like, oh my God, I'm not the only one going through this. There's somebody else that's gone through this. I need to reach out and I want to get the same help. And I think maybe it's not embarrassing for you. Maybe it's like a sense of shame about what you've gone through. And that already says that you need to really work through that shame, because that shame is going to stop money coming to you. When you're so empowered around what's happened in your life, like the extreme lows, whatever trauma you went through, and you're so glad and find it a blessing that it happened to you, you won't feel embarrassed about talking about it. You'd feel excited to talk about it, because you know what came out of it and what other people can grow from, learning from you about it as well.
Yeah, that's the key thing about it, guys. It's never about you. Like, just remember, like, sharing your story is not about you. It's about helping someone. You have to, because usually we make it about ourselves, and you have to take, when you're running a business, you have to take yourself and your baggage out of the equation, and you have to think, okay, what can this part of my, so you don't have to be very detailed. You don't have to say, like, go in depth about it. You go to the level of where you feel comfortable, and you share that. People be like, wow, first you'll be like, people like, oh, you're so brave, you're so powerful, this is empowering, this has inspired me. And the more you share it, the more people be like, you know what, I need some help. I read your story, it really inspired me, that's why I'm reaching out to you. And that's what we call in the business world a hot lead. That's how you get hot leads, when you share your story and you're authentic and you are being yourself. That's the key factors in all of this. It's not just about sharing your story, it's about being yourself and being confident about it as well. And someone asked, I just saw a question about what would you recommend. I don't know what we were talking about, but the person asked the question regarding it. I have no idea. I was just scrolling up and I saw it. If the person can ask the question again, that would be really great. I don't know what the question was aimed at. So yeah, guys, if you have any question about money, selling, feel free to comment below, or feel free to DM me or Jamila. You can find Jamila on Abundant Muslima on Instagram and Jamila Tailor on Facebook. But yeah, guys, or use your baggage as marketing. What do you mean by that, Zakia? I'm not quite sure. Yes, the live will be saved. The live will be saved for 24 hours on Instagram. So feel free to watch it after us, after we finished here.
And make
So what's
notes. Make notes.
Yes, make let us know your insights as well. You know, I really like hearing from you guys. Like when you message me and say, "Oh wow, this your live was really insightful. It really changed my perception of certain things." So feel free to like message us and let us know what you're thinking. You know, once you watch the live. So, what's your final thoughts, Jamila?
Final thoughts. If you're feeling icky around selling, know that there's some mindset issues that you need to work on, and they don't need to take a long time to get rid of, and you can definitely work on them. It's only your fears that are stopping you from really being able to sell. It's not your talents or services. It's the fears and the beliefs that you're having around selling.
Love that. And mine are, guys, listen, sales is a contact sport. The conversion happens in the conversation and the transformation happens in the transaction. So the more open you are, the more honest you are, the more consistent you are in on showing up online, the more money you'll make. It's as simple as that. And if you do like have any questions, or you feel like you have something that you want to go deep into, feel free to reach out to Jamila, feel free to reach out to me, and inshallah, when are we back, Jamila?
Sunday, inshallah. We're definitely going to be doing our Sundays at 1 o'clock, inshallah.
Yeah. Oh wait, we have a question. Mama's part asked us a question. If you are selling a product instead of a service, e.g. coaching, how can you create a story? What if you don't think the story behind the product is not very unique or significant? Should I have a story? You don't have to have a story. So the perfect example is this eczema. I used to sell eczema cream back in the day, Natural, when I was doing Natural, and I wrote a story behind it. It was actually my sister who had severe eczema, and I helped her cure the topical eczema, and it really worked. So sometimes just sharing the story of like a client's transformation, or sharing. Like I remember an advertisement. I don't know if you guys remember Nad's waxing. Do you remember it, Jamila?
Yeah, I think I do.
That selling channel. But anyway, she had a powerful story. Like she's trying to find some kind of like waxing treatment for her daughter. Nothing worked, and then she put all these bunch of organic stuff together, and she created her own wax, and she turned into like a multi-million-pound company. So sometimes sharing your story, just like the sentiment behind it, because people like to connect. You have to remember, people connect to stories. As human beings, we are driven by stories, especially when they're emotional. So if you're selling a product, still share your story behind it, like how you started it, why you started it, why is this your passion, why do you feel like this will benefit someone else? Don't be afraid to go deep like that, and people will resonate with it. And that's how you get clients to keep coming back to you. It's all about retaining clients, not constantly finding new ones. So yeah, guys, if you don't have any more questions, me and Jamila are off now. I hope you enjoyed your Ramadan, inshallah. Ramadan, Eid. Sorry, guys, I'm still in Ramadan. Hope you enjoyed your Eid, inshallah. I'll be back on Sunday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, inshallah. And let us know any topics that you really want us to go more deep on, and we'll start scheduling them in, inshallah, as well.
Inshallah, guys. Anyways, take care. Have a great day. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Images.